Good morning, everyone. Today is day 2 of very interesting interviews on how M&A and artificial intelligence are joining forces these days to help us when we are looking to integrate two companies. And I am absolutely excited to have Timo Järvinen from NayaDaya here today with us and to explain us what his tool that is specifically focused on how people actually behave, what they feel during that post-deal situation. Actually, probably you could even use it beforehand, but how they feel post-deal and how they feel at certain points when you start the integration. Timo, over to you. I think you have a wealth of information to share with us today. And I'm really excited that you're here, that you're taking the time to have that interview with us here at Integration Success. Thank you very much. And yeah, let's enjoy the interview with you.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me. Great to be here. Thank you.
Can you elaborate a little bit on your origin story? Why NayaDaya? Why that solution? What was kind of the inspiration that that triggered you?
Yeah, I can do that. So the general idea quite many years ago already was to find a method for people to express their emotions and to be understood also better, especially in the digital environments. And the scientific approach were there, like from the beginning, and the receipts and the study in the University of Geneva, Switzerland was there at the start. The problem actually we were solving then, first one was the lack of empathy. And for example, the social media and so on. And actually that's still more relevant than ever, I think. I think probably it could be even the matter of destiny for us all in the whole humankind, I would say. But anyway, we decided to try to make the difference in companies and like organizations, like we transformed our focus on collecting and analyzing emotion data. And to understand people and to predict behavior through scientific analytics, things like that, among employees, customers, and in the context of, for example, brands, employers, sustainability, and different social phenomena. And finally, in M&A integrations and transformations. And actually, we did implement the first M&A pilot already many years ago, and we did see the potential then, but it took a long time, innovations and learning many things to get here where we are now. So yeah, quite a history actually.
Yeah, very interesting. And I can absolutely connect with you on the behavioral part, because when I talk about culture being an important piece in any integration, then we all know that culture is, in my definition, that's how I define it, essentially behavior and how behavior is incentivized. That actually makes up culture. And I feel that when I saw your tool, that NayaDaya is exactly actually addressing that very point, that you can diagnose and understand what's going on in people's minds, what are their behaviors, and what are the triggers for that behavior.
Yeah, I think I could maybe share one image with you, which would be like this one. It could be maybe help a little bit our discussion here. I mean, there are also many kind of like misunderstandings here about employee experiences and people's behavior, and so this science-based image actually tells us something quite interesting, which is that every emotion has a really different kind of impact on behavior. different kind of situations.
Right.
So these emotions here, they are coming from this scientific model, from this Geneva model I was talking about. And so from left to right, negative to positive, and from disengagement to engagement, we have these two dimensions here. So if you think about the kind of traditional service scale, like satisfaction or NP, for example, which are normally used quite often, and they are only about the negativity or the positivity of experiences, actually.
Right. Looks like a linear.
Yeah, it's not like one dimension actually only, not these emotional like insights at all there. And so now I'm drawing the kind of curve which is telling us something quite interesting also. And it tells us that the kind of traditional scale of satisfaction, for example, does not correlate with the engagement dimension at all. So they are two totally different kind of behavioral dimensions. And what that means actually that if you need to understand the engagement dimension or disengagement, and also the root causes there, then those traditional surveys with only this one scale, they are even useless there. They don't understand this vertical dimension there. So, but with emotions and this scientific understanding of their impact on behavior, it's not even difficult to understand the engagement and disengagement. This is, of course, also only like one part of the whole solution, but it is really essential to understand the impact of emotions, and of course, in different phases of the integrations, they change, and due to different kind of root causes. We are going back to them soon.
And the interesting part is that this looks like the change curve that we all are so aware of. And when you look specifically at where it starts, anger, hate, regret, disgust, and so forth, and it then actually moves through the sadness of something that no longer is the way it is. And we have that understanding when you look into integrations, that there is a period of mourning and that there's also a period of birth and new beginning. And you can see exactly that in that change curve. So it's a perfect resemblance of what's actually going on in our minds. And that is from someone that actually has done 46 integrations successfully. And I've gone through 2 integrations myself where I was actually on the part that was merged. So I can fully understand and see myself in that, but I also see logically many of my former projects that actually where people went exactly through that curve.
Yeah, well, actually, the one thing we need to understand here more, which is that, okay, these emotions may follow each other in different kind of like sequence in the change process, but actually this curve there, it's not the change process itself. I mean, it's more like it tells us that when in general, actually in any context, in any context, if like emotions and experiences like change from negative to positive, this is how engagement like changes. So, yeah. I mean, for example, in the beginning of the integration, there may be sometimes a lot of negative emotions, sometimes a lot of positive emotions. So you should maybe not like interpret this curve that it would like follow this curve. I mean, it can change a lot. But this tells us that there's no correlation between these two dimensions. That's the main point actually in this picture, I would say.
Interesting. Yeah, very interesting. And that to build on that, actually, then it means you could be even on the right-hand side in the beginning.
Yes.
That would mean that the communication has been addressed very, very positively in a way that people moved immediately into how can they actually engage. And when you keep communication flowing the way you should be doing it, then actually you are driving it more towards people being engaged and people having a positive connection to the transaction and to the integration.
So and we are finding like concrete action points and actions how to make this image then different. But I think the root cause analysis will tell more about this if we go forward.
Very good. Please continue. It's
okay. So
and yeah, I'm learning. So it's
okay.
great.
Okay. So maybe we could like take a look at the total process at this point, how it goes. It's the method and this technology we call people risk analytics here. It's really simple for the customer point of view. I mean, the input there means we are collecting data from employees with the short cloud survey. I will show you what it looks like. Then the data is processed with our analytics and science AI-based tools there. I'll tell you more about that also.
And that would be interesting.
Yeah, thanks. Then we have outputs like 3 levels. First one is the risk level output, then the root causes, and then the action points and even recommendations for actions to avoid the financially significant failures there. And of course, we should not forget the stress of people also there. This standard process can be executed and repeated always at the same way. And for example, during the integration, we can do that like 3 times. That's quite optimal there. And I think I also should say here that this process in general is scaling from even 10 people to thousands or even tens of thousands of people. So it's really scalable model this in general, I would say.
That's excellent, because I think what I have come to appreciate is if there is a feedback loop. So if you not only do this once, but if you feel the pulse of what's going on actually in the workforce or across the company, if you can feel that much more often than just once at the beginning or so. So excellent, and that it's scalable. That's exactly what we need.
Yeah, this is important, and you definitely need to kind of compare these results in different phases of the integration and so on. But I can show you just like practical examples of the tool. Let's start with the cloud application, just to see how that will be done. The input phase there, so it's really easy to share with the people. And the magical thing here is that we need actually only 3 questions. So we do not need those traditional burdening surveys or something like that. So these questions, they are about emotions and their intensities and the reasons behind them. So the first question is like, how do you feel about the integration with this company, whatever it is? And you can select 1 or 2 emotions from these 20 emotions. There are negative, positive emotions there, or even no emotion. And that method over there, so that's based on the scientific study method, which is created in the University of Geneva, Switzerland, multilingual, multicultural way to express, understand emotions. So we have already like 10 languages already there. So, but anyway, it's an excellent way to cover the human emotion space, as they say. And then those intensities, just simple selections. And the third question, the reasons, they are short, free-form responses like, why do you feel, for example, interest or fear or whatever you feel in the context of the integration. And so the whole survey, short, intuitive, not burdening people, takes not many minutes. And we do not identify people there. I mean, that's no personal data there. So I think I should emphasize here that the questions, so they are always the same. You do not need any like project or planning that what should we act this time or whatever like that. So of course, some kind of background variables can be used there depending on the size of the company actually, but really simple to implement. And then going to the analogy, this patent pending method and technology we have here, and so behind this simple process, input and the outputs, there is a sophisticated analytics and science and AI-based algorithms and so on. So the first level there, it's the kind of, we call it emotion and behavior intelligence, which is benefiting especially from science and AI. Then the second level there, it's about setting goals, concrete goals, as you see there.
Yeah.
The third level is a new framework for identifying the right kind of actions there. That's based on science and also process intelligence for integration best practices. Actually, we've been building that together with Deloitte, getting important help from them. And then the fourth level there, it's about generative AI. We can talk about that a bit more. But anyway, with AI, we analyze the total package of these analytics goals and actions, and also can use external information about integrations or other transformations if needed. So this is how we go to the fifth level there to find out the action points and action recommendations to achieve those goals, whatever they are, as you see, and to build the successful integrations. And then from all these, we get the three outputs. So I would say that all these kind of indicates that to get these simple results by only asking three questions. So we need a deep analytics here, science, AI, so on. But our customers, they do not need to know anything about emotions or science or like that. They are all like below there. You can focus, customers can focus on the results there. That's
yeah, and that's important for them. They need the action points, they need the recommendations to drive the communication so that people stay engaged and people stay engaged with a positive mindset. Because with a positive mindset, you can transform any M&A transaction to the successful direction, and you can achieve unbelievable value creation.
That is right. So we can talk about the AI a bit more later, but at this point, I think I can show you the outputs. So there are like three levels of outputs, and the first level is about this risk level. The first indicator there, it's about those employee experiences. They're quite easy to understand. Its impact on risks and so on. On the right side there, it's a kind of more clever, I would say, indicator, a number between from 0 to 100, using scientific algorithm that predicts negative and disengaged and even non-pro-social behavior. So the bigger the number is there, the bigger is the risk for the integration to fail.
Now, let me ask you a question.
Yes.
Would I also be able to zero in on specific departments or functions, and not on logically not on people, but to understand more how the integration is perceived, for example, in marketing, in sales, in production, in finance, IT, HR, and so forth? Is that possible?
Yes, exactly. You can do it like that. And also you can use these indicators in different phases of the integration to compare those situations. So where the results are going. So exactly that is the point. And I would say that with these indicators, you will see even in seconds if there's some kind of crisis going on. These numbers will tell that. But of course, these are not enough. We need to go deeper. But what these kind of indicators, they are always really useful. And the next level there are the root causes. So this is a kind of like snapshot about the concrete things behind those risks. So the risks here, these bubbles, they indicate the weight or the relevance of these things to people. So these are now not emotions, but things behind emotions. And the location here is about the behavior. So also the engagement dimension there, which is not understood by the traditional service, as I said. And so these quadrants there, they visualize like up there. These are the things that behind the retention and motivation. commitment, readiness for change, and successful integration, all those good things. Positive engagement there. Then on the right down there, these things make people more passive. They are more like root causes for a kind of comfort zone, if you like.
Mm-hmm.
Then on the left down there, these things cause the really not so nice things. I mean,
Sure.
turnover, employee turnover, and productivity loss, all the financial losses. Those are the reasons for that kind of things. And then up there, left there, these are the things behind negative engagement, which means like resistance, sometimes even aggressive behavior. So they are not good for the change either, of course. So in general, this is the reality behind the integration from people point of view. And with emotion science, there's really nice thing, which is that this image automatically like eliminates all the relevant things, meaning that we visualize only those things that have an impact on behavior. So that, you know, the background noise, it's not there, only those meaningful things.
Yeah.
Of course, also this image you can create is in different phases of the integration, or if the company is bigger, also for different business units, of course, that's possible.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
How do you know that the bubble in the middle is leadership, or so it is communication, the small one? How do you know? It made me curious how you can trace actually these labels.
Yes, we do that on our platform, on our analytics, when we analyze the reasons behind those emotions. So the free form answers, we actually categorize those answers, their AI and human help. We have good tools for that. So that's one thing we do. So they kind of come from those responses.
Okay.
But also there, it's not only those responses, there are also the intensities and then the emotions. The emotions like make the location, the behavior, and it's quite intelligent algorithm actually.
So they change from company to company, from situation to situation. So salary could be actually quite negative if there is an issue around that because of two companies coming together with very different salary and benefit structures.
Yes, and one good point here to remember is that these bubbles don't need to be here at all. These bubbles in general change every time. So sometimes there may be the salary bubble, sometimes not. We do not know beforehand what these bubbles are. Okay. Yes. Of course, the same kind of bubbles tend to arise, you know, in these integration situations, but not all those bubbles are always there. So it's always case by case situation.
Yes. Understood. Great.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Then the outcome part from there, from the output, like the action points first, and so these are we call them risk factors here. And with the scientific algorithm, we identify these and prioritize these also. So in this example, the risk factors are workload, employment, leadership, and tools. This is example data. And these arrows here, they tell you if the risk is increasing or if it's decreasing, or the circle there, it means that the risk is new one, not there before. So this is really easy way to see the risks and action points concretely and kind of prioritize them also. In the simple way to see that. And then we have the same kind of view for we call them protectors. These are the things and action points. They like secure the integration against the risks. I mean, the employee turnover, productive loss, and those things. And so the same kind of things here, and as also you see here that the protectors are, if they are increasing or decreasing, that's, you can see it from there. So seeing the risks, those action points, seeing the action points for these risk protectors, and then we go to the actions themselves. So based on those risk factors and protectors, we can create a summary of action recommendations to mitigate the risks and to strengthen those protectors. So for creating this, we use the science and the AI-based algorithms there and the M&A process intelligence I was talking about. So all these things are needed here to get these recommendations. And then we can go a bit deeper into each risk factor or protector there. So to give recommendations for actions, this example is the workloads. So all these like action cards, they are based on the case-by-case result and the situation, even the phase of the integration. So a lot of, actually there are many like dimensions there below this. And below there you also see those examples of those responses. So we are able to combine the qualitative and the quantitative data or information here.
I like that a lot because you can see up here in the left-hand corner, you see fear, disappointment, anger with the respective percentages. So you have kind of an understanding what the current situation is. And then you can see, okay, these are action recommendations that will actually reduce or minimize those emotions and the risks that are associated with those. So really well developed and to the point, so that I really have actionable recommendations that what I can actually implement.
Yeah, that's much more concrete than only having those action points and bubbles there. And then the same kind of thing for the protectors. The example here is the career there. So same information here, also action cards for each risk factor, each protector. So all in all, by asking all those three questions, you will get the risk levels first of all, then the root causes, then the list of risk factors and protectors, prioritized there, and then these action recommendations, the total like summary, and then all these like more specific actions. And to get all these, you do not need to know anything about science, anything about emotions. They all are this sophisticated processes under the surface. So this is what you get.
Yeah, and the recommendations are very straightforward. Anyone understands what these recommendations are, and how to actually implement them.
Yeah, that's right. And of course, in every case, they then in this phase they make it like even more concrete, like this thing, how we do it, like exactly at this point with these people and so on. So these are the kind of really concrete things, but these are like the quite concrete guidelines how you can, for example, like minimize certain risk in the context of the workload or whatever it is. So like that. And so what's next? Would you like to have one maybe concrete case example here, or?
I would be delighted, and I think the viewers would also be very delighted to see a concrete case that you have. I mean, already what you have shown us, anyone that has gone through that integration process understands immediately the value that you have shown us in these couple of minutes. This is really exciting stuff.
Thanks. That's great to hear. And I have a quite nice practical example here. This Rantalainen Group, they are one of the biggest financial service companies here in Finland. And they have a strong growth going on in the Nordic countries at the moment with a Norwegian private equity company. And they've been using this solution almost 2 years now. And so this is also an example how you can scale this process inside one company. So like executing exactly the same process in every integration during transformation, if there's that kind of case, but to find out those risks, right actions to build successful integrations and business and future, as Kimmo Martikainen says here. So like this, they are using exactly the same process in all their integrations now, and They have been quite happy for this solution, and also happy for the I would say really fast development of the solution in general, what we have been doing during these 2 years. And I guess Kimmo Martikainen probably is glad to tell you more of the listeners if they like.
So in essence, what you're telling us, they have, through the use of the Scaling People Risk Analytics tool, they have most likely reduced the risk of high performers leaving. They have probably also given people career opportunities, as you showed earlier, to understand where they could grow towards and what that actually would mean for their life and how that would connect to the purpose of the group. Ultimately, all of these things have probably become available through the use of your tool.
Yes, exactly like that. And during these 2 years with Rantalainen, we've been making the solution more and more concrete. So, for example, these action recommendation features we have now here, we published them recently with Deloitte, who they helped us there, and so they are totally something new now, already be used in a couple of cases now successfully, but really the future look really interesting from this point of view, because the idea from us, our point of view, has been always like to go as far, like you know, to do all we can to make the results really concrete and actionable. So that's the point.
Right. You mentioned earlier that you had a little bit more on the artificial intelligence side.
Yeah.
Would you care to share that with us, and also a little bit about what the future holds in stock for NayaDaya, what your roadmap looks a little bit like?
Yeah, I can do that. Show you one more slide from there. And so we use, first of all, we used AI, like several AI services, I would say, and models in the underlying technology there. And in general, the model has like 2 sides. Of course, the AI and also the human sides. They are like completing each other there. And here are some concrete examples how we use AI. So the first one is, in general, like translating the responses from different languages, because this is a multicultural, multilingual system. Then one concrete thing there is the analyzing and categorizing those responses to find out the types of root causes behind those emotions. That was actually what I already said to you about categorizing those responses. We use it there. Then also in making the action recommendations to mitigate the people risks and so on, trading integrations, and really critical aspect of the solution. And we nowadays use the generative AI, also the large language models. They are used there. And one more thing is also the process of improving the algorithms with the AI. That's one thing. But then if we think about the benefits of AI in this process, a couple of things there. So with AI, we are able to, first of all, like serve, of course, a large number of languages. Already have about 10, much more to come. And secondly, it's about speed of the process. It can be fast like this. This is essential. We are pointing out risks, and if there's a risk, it's important to act quickly sometimes or many times. So that's important. Then the consistency and the objectiveness of the data and the outcome, which is meaning like consistent quality and results not depending on people or different evaluations, of course. And then especially through the action recommendations, I would say that we are able to provide totally new insights with the help of AI, which means higher customer value there and growing impact on business and so on. And one more thing, when we use AI, it needs to be, of course, done carefully, with precise protocols there and to ensure the information security and so on. So this is exactly what we are doing also here. So that's really important thing there. And maybe one more thing is that there are needs to be said that they are always the human checks and human curating, so this is a combination of always like AI and human guidance, I would say.
Yeah, and I think that's exactly what one needs to do. And I think what you've shown us is kind of the poster child of how to use AI. You take a process, you digest the process into the various steps, you identify where can AI be of use, and where do we still need to use our human experience and our brain, essentially, that has served us for so many, millions of years, essentially. And I think that's exactly what the understanding of the use of AI needs to be. And then it no longer becomes that scary thing. It becomes actually a tool that can help us. And you said it in your second bullet down there, speed of execution is what actually helps us quite a lot. Because if we can speed up things, it means we create also time to focus on what really matters between us human beings. And I think that's really the important piece to understand. Very good. So what's next?
Have any other questions maybe, if we have time?
Well, I just like a lot what you showed us, that you essentially start with the input. You use that many layered process of intelligence that you actually use from various sources. It's not just AI, it is experience based. You mentioned that you work together with Deloitte on some of the things. So it has a multifaceted level. Then you actually come to understanding the risk elements, and not only the risk elements, but you support it with understanding those root causes that get you to the actions. And I like that process, that arc, because it is fundamentally sound analysis that you base your actions upon. And that, I think, is very, very valuable in any M&A integration when it comes to people. And let's face it, I would say we need to do M&A the human-centric way, the human-centric approach. We need to orient people, we need to engage them, create buy-in, and we need to prioritize ultimately what to focus on. And if we do that paired with a tool like what you show us here, then it can only mean success ultimately. And that's what we all need and want.
Yes, exactly like that. And I mean, there are many things in the integration playbooks, but the idea here is that, to find the actions in different kind of situations, to see those risks and to point out exactly those actions, how we can tackle those risks. So it's kind of more like targeting the right things at the right time, and not like having the whole playbook, even if that's really important also. I understand, sure.
Yes, I mean, you're absolutely correct. Playbooks have a place in any integration, and that's important to have. Understanding what's going on in people's minds can really boost the existence of playbooks so much more, because this is actually, it's a human-centric way of approaching M&A integration.
That's also, you can use these at the same time, like completing each other, I would say. Yeah.
Excellent. So what's up in store for us when we use NayaDaya in the future? Any bigger developments coming up?
Well, in the future, well, the future is of course interesting. Interesting. I would say that the all this science and AI-based innovations and fast learning patent process engage our team, and all this has been the way to build this kind of cutting-edge technology, I would say here. I mean, to our customers, to our partners, we really want to create something that will help them to be ahead of others, of course. And this, this innovative process of building totally unique value, it's not a project. It's I would say that it's in our DNA, and also myself in my DNA and in our team's DNA, and we will continue to use this DNA, of course. That I can promise there, and the AI-based tools, they are getting better and better all the time. Of course, I'm not sharing the details here, maybe, but in general, I would say that AI makes the process like more and more effective, more and more scalable. But at the same time, the development of AI, it kind of like brings us more power to make new innovations and to actually like incredible things, and to make higher value, and the future looks really exciting. But there was like one more thing, which is like, we focused here now with the M&A integrations, okay, which is the really sharp focus here, but of course it's also clear that the same process can be used in all transformations or even investment projects. I mean, all those critical or business critical processes or growth in general, where huge investments they are used, and the success is depending on people, and failing is really expensive. So I would say that we are there to mitigate those risks, to help our customers to avoid those failings. But it's also, I want to emphasize one thing, that it's also about taking care of people and the social sustainability there. Because in the end, in the beginning, I was talking about empathy, if you remember. So right. The end also here, it's also still it's about empathy actually. So I think the circle is kind of closing here in this word of empathy, because it's not something like soft and something, it's really at the core of this business, this way of building empathy. It's about understanding people. It's about understanding what is valuable, how these things affect on people. Also it's about finding out those risks and also to avoid those financial risks finally. So but two sides of the same coin, I would say.
Perfect. That opens my heart. That's exactly how I like to see companies actually doing M&A integration. Doing it really the human-centric way, helping people to understand and guiding people. Timo, this was a very interesting interview. I'm really grateful for your time, and thank you very much. And I hope that with the future going on, the tool is going to be developing logically, and I'm certainly going to make sure that in the next M&A integration projects that I'm involved, that NayaDaya has a place, because what you show is really helpful to management teams. Any leadership person needs to really digest that and understand that. And once they hear and see that, they know in their heart that this is a good method. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much for being here. And of course, I'm willing to talk to anyone, to listeners who's willing to talk more about these things. But thank you, Thomas. Really great to be here.
Yes, absolutely. And logically, this is going to end up in a LinkedIn post, and we will share your contact information and also where you can see the full interview over and above the short that we're going to show. Thank you very much.
Thanks. Take care. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.